This sounds nuts, but let me tell you, the slave trade ran on force and on fashion trunk shows. I kid you not. It all starts in India. India had the most beautiful garments in the world in the 1500s, and the British knew it. So they go to India and they conquer the export market by force. It wasn't free trade, it was armed extraction. At the same time, European powers are figuring out how to buy people in Africa. And they don't have some sort of universal currency to use there. And the African political economies are super diverse. They're governed by kings, merchant houses, and warrior elites. Those factions decide which goods are acceptable to trade for human beings, and it turns out they love Indian fabrics. But they were picky. They determined which textiles had value, which colors, patterns, and thread counts mattered, and exactly how many human beings these goods were worth. Great Britain understands this better than anyone. They would literally have trunk shows and bring all sorts of styles and figure out which kingdoms liked which fabrics, and they often complained amongst themselves about how the tastes varied from port to port. The wrong fabric meant no deal. Now, this wasn't casual trade. According to the historian Sven Beckert, over 12 million Africans were forcibly transported across the Atlantic, and cotton textiles from India were amongst the most important commodities used to purchase them, accounting in some regions for more than half the value of all slave trade exchanges. But Britain's never able to fully monopolize the slave trade because these elites, they also desire other goods: firearms, gunpowder, alcohol, metal goods, shells, and crucially, gold and silver fill out these transactions. The Portuguese, who were backed by Brazilian gold, could bypass British leverage altogether. And what matters is not the flag on the ship, but whether the cargo matches local elite preferences. If it does, captives are delivered. If it doesn't, no sale occurs. And this market is enforced by violence. Beckert describes cotton fabric capitalism as war capitalism, a system built on cannons, soldiers, and terror. These slave ships, they're floating fortresses, and the trading posts, they're armed compounds. Violence wasn't a failure of the system, it's the operating logic. Once the terms are set, the African elites supply captives through raids and wars timed to these trading cycles. This chain was slow, bureaucratic, and lethal. Cotton grown in rural India becomes woven by coerced artisans and then shipped on armed European vessels selected by African elites in exchange for captives who were transported to the Americas. Only later would enslaved labor in the Americas produce raw cotton at scale, but in the beginning, it's Indian cotton cloth that drives the colonization of the West.